Hello and welcome. We're gonna go right into another expanded video here for Orange Dragon Gaming. Today I'm gonna bring up the Vespiquen Flareon deck. It's an old kind of tried and true classic of the expanded format, taking advantage of cards from mostly older sets, which is kind of what I dig about it. It's got a lot of nostalgia factor built in for it. But we do include a couple of newer cards in it, but we'll kind of start with the basics. The deck itself revolves around the Flareon Vengeance attack, as well as the Vespiquen Be Revenge attack. We both do the same thing for a double colorless energy, attacking for 20 plus 10 damage for each Pokemon in our discard pile. We play a grand total of 30 Pokemon in this deck, so we don't really have any excuse for not being able to accrue enough Pokemon in the discard pile to cause knockouts. We do play just a couple of tech Pokemon. We play two Mr. Mimes with the bench barrier, because if we go up against Archie's Blastoise and they get that turn 1 Towering Splash GX off, they can wipe our board clean and it's basically game over. So that's the one main tech. We do play 4 Oranguru with Instruct, just for additional draw power, and because nothing else kind of makes sense right this second, I'm probably going to test around with the number a little bit more. Maybe drop it down a little bit to add in some different tech Pokemon that can attack for a double colorless energy. But right now, this seems to be working pretty good. We do play 1 Execute, which helps us manipulate our hand size so that we're not constantly throwing away 2 cards with Ultra Ball or Computer Search, things like that. Let's see, we do play the Ultra Prism Eevee, just because theoretically this is the best attacking Eevee that exists currently in format. There's no Combi we can attack with and do anything with. They all cost at least a grass energy. We play 2 Shaman EX for additional draw power. We play 1 Tapu Lele GX. We can attack with it if we really want to, but it's mainly just Wonder Tag and get out of the way. Unown is a card from Ancient Origins. Once during your turn before you attack, if this Pokemon's on your bench, you may discard this Pokemon and all cards attached to it. It is not a knockout. If you do, draw a card. So again, just additional power to draw through. We only play 1 copy of a stadium, and that's Parallel City. We would generally use it with the blue side pointed toward us, which is the three bench Pokemon side. We like to do that after we've kind of established somewhat of a board. We get a couple Combies down, or a couple Eevees down, and a Oranguru, put a couple Shamans on the bench for a Shaman and a Tapu Lele. Then we use that Parallel City to point the 3 sides toward us, bump 2 Pokemon to the discard pile, powers up our attacks, and quite frankly, just makes life easier on us by doing so. So we have already touched on the 4 Ultra Balls that we're in the Computer Search. That's 2 of the main ways we get Pokemon in the discard pile. But the mainest way, if that's a word, is to use Battle Compressor to throw 3 cards from our deck into the discard pile. We'll generally use that turn 1, if possible, to throw away Execute, a Pokemon that we might not need in the matchup. Like if we're playing against, drawing a blank here. Like let's just say we're playing against Volcanion. They're not going to be doing any bench damage, so we're going to throw away Mr. Mime. We're playing against Rayquaza Ho-Oh, throw away Mr. Mime. Doesn't do us any good in that particular matchup. Or if you have a full bench or something like that already, you just start throwing away Unowns and Orangurus until you get down to where you just have like Eevees, Flareons, Combies, and Vespiquens left in the deck to get you through what you need to get done. Play a pretty thin line of supporters. 1 Colress, 1 Guzma, 1 N. Teammates is an older card that we haven't touched on in any video yet. You play this card if one of your Pokemon was knocked out during your last turn. You get to search your deck for 2 cards and put them straight into your hand. It's kind of busted considering that we play all single prize attackers and we can use VS Seeker to fetch it back over and over again. You basically don't have an excuse not to have what you want every single turn after you've been knocked out. We do play 1 Faba for Disruption, choosing a tool or special energy card attached to one of our opponent's Pokemon and then throwing it in the Lost Zone. And we can also get rid of stadiums if we need to. I don't think there's too many stadiums we really need to get rid of unless we have an opposing Parallel City that we have to remove because the damage reduction side's pointed toward us and we need to get it out of the way to score a knockout. 1 Choice Band, 1 Floatstone. There's not a lot of room in the deck because we just need to burn through it quickly in order to achieve knockouts rather. And 4 Double Colors Energies with 2 special charges to put them back in the deck should we need to fetch them out again. So, that's basically the deck in a nutshell. It's just kind of go fast and try to blow everything up. So we're going to jump right into a game, and we're going to see what kind of mischief we can get in today. Fairy colorless. Psychic Fighting Fairy colorless. Mega Gardevoir, perhaps? Oh, he's got a Sylveon deck box. I don't know. We're gonna find out, and I have a sneaking suspicion I'm not going to be too thrilled about what my opponent's playing. This deck will struggle with most control decks. Alright, so we still don't really know anything about our opponent's deck right now. Still don't know anything. Because everybody plays Sudowoodo and everybody plays Tapu Lele and Expanded pretty much. Okay. Gonna have to cut that part out. Oh, he's just playing straight Gardevoir. Okay. I don't know about Gardevoir and Expanded. I just feel like you're a little slow. That's just me, though. I feel like you'd be a little slow and kind of constantly looking for the next thing, whatever that may be. Man, I hate to end my opponent after they have clearly a decent hand. But don't need that Tapu Lele. I'd rather save it. Maybe get a little more board established. Alright, this is kind of nice. So we have that Execute in the discard pile. Now we can kind of use it to its fullest here. I'm going to bench the Eevee. I'm going to throw away the Faba and the Execute because there's nothing for me to Faba and I don't really want to do anything right now. Yeah, I can use that Unknown. Put it down on the bench, draw another card, put the Execute back in the hand. There's shenanigans afoot. Shaman EX. I don't know that I want an EX down on the board for my opponent to be knocking out. So we'll just grab another Unknown. Because remember, we only got the one bench spot left. So we have to be a little bit smart. Didn't think I'd be drawing another Oranguru, to be perfectly honest. Let's see what happens. It doesn't get too much worse from here. That's a pretty nice thing to hit off of one card. Okay. We don't need Mr. Mime. We won't need another Oranguru. And we can safely throw away that Unknown. But due to what we have in the discard pile supporter-wise, we're actually going to keep that Unknown in deck for now. And we're going to put a Professor Juniper in there. So that way next turn I can grab that Juniper, toss it, go from there. That's beautiful. Okay, so next turn we'll have a Vespiquen. I won't have any way to retreat, but I'm kind of hoping my opponent takes care of that problem for me by knocking me out. We will find out. So our opponent has played, at this point in time, just a Bridget and an Ultra Ball. They threw away Sylveon and another Bridget. Lovely. Love seeing our opponent find everything they want. Very nice. Great. Lovely. Just find all the stuff. And Professor Juniper. Guzma. Lovely. We don't have our teammates in the discard pile, so we unfortunately I don't see a way we're attacking next turn. But what I am going to do, I am going to promote that Eevee. Just on the off chance that we're able to find a little something. Three more Pokemon in the discard pile. Here we go. Looks like we found a couple things. 230 is a lot of number to hit for. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 140, 170. Ugh. This isn't happening right now. If I put 3 bench his way with that, attach to choice band, I'm still not using instruct. Skip it. It's not worth it. I'll take my value out of this turn by smacking him for 140. Hopefully we can come up with something for next turn. I don't know what, but hopefully I can come up with something. Alright, so theoretically I'd be swinging for 160 if I had another attacker set up, but our opponent unfortunately wiped out everything we had. And this is a time, due to what we have in hand, we're gonna grab N. Oh, glad you love it, buddy. Somebody's got to be happy with what they're drawing. We prize the teammates again. It's most irritating. Just gonna throw away those 2 Pokemon for right now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. Pretty solid. But we're kind of done there. Now, I don't like how this is situated. If our opponent is getting another Gardevoir down on the board, we have huge problems. Because they'll retreat the active and promote the other one. If they miss a knockout, I still have to draw like 5 cards in order to do anything useful on this particular turn. Just don't like how this is situating. So I'll be able to evolve into the Flareon, play the Colress, hopefully find something useful. At this point in time, it's going to be like Float Stone, double colorless. It's a little ugly. But that's why, in part, the EXs and GXs give up 2 prizes instead of just 1 to balance the game out. So we're not technically out of this game as long as we're able to return a knockout right now and make our opponent miss one. So they don't have another Gardevoir built, which is okay. I don't mind that. If I was sitting in their hand right now, though. That Sudowoodo is screwing with me. We're still most likely to attack with this Eevee on this particular turn. I'm going to Instructor 1 and see if we can't hit something that we can play right now with it. Maybe Vespiquen. Okay, VS Seeker's not terrible because we can just play the Colress anyway. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. It's 180. How many double colorless do I have in there? 2. Ooh, and I prized one, I'm pretty sure. Let's see what we can get out of 9 cards. So half our deck at this point in time. Well, we hit Special Charge. and computer search. So luckily we have a couple tools to work with. If I play the Parallel City, it's just going to benefit my opponent truthfully. So I think I'll just toss it from hand for the time being. I'm going to save that float stone. It could come in handy. Grab a double colorless. We'll attach. And I really hope we draw teammates. Really hope we draw teammates. So we're going to need it. So we're about to find out if my opponent has Gardevoir, Fairy Energy, DCE, or Fairy Energy in hand. So they have Gardevoir now. Why doesn't Pokemon Communication force... I didn't get to see what my opponent put in the hand. Hey Pokemon, we want to fix that. Make sure my opponent was able to put a Pokemon back in the deck. So Secret Spring, free Fairy Energy attachment. Here comes another Fairy Energy, I'm going to guess. No, had another DC in hand. Cool. So this Flareon is bye-bye. But luckily for us, we have the Vespiquen on the board. We have a Eevee we can evolve into a Flareon. We drew a double colors energy off the prizes, so we will be able to swing for some nice damage. And we have the Unowned too to put another Pokemon in the discard pile. Dare I say it? Are we capable of knocking this thing out? 1, 2, 3, 6, 7, 9, 12, 15, 18, 19, 20, 21, 20. Wow, we're going to knock out. Love it. We needed that bad. And for good measure, that was humongous. Just having all that stuff at our disposal. So the other good thing is our opponent is not winning next turn. However, ooh, we got the teammates. We got the teammates. We have a Guzma in hand. They have a Shaman on the board. They have a Tapu Lele on the board. We just got to find a double colorless energy and we can take this game. Back from the dead. The Bee Revenge. I love coming back in games like that. Granted, it's not over until it's over. But we do have 2 double colorless left in deck still. Yep, we still have 2 double colors in deck. We have a Guzma. If we find that double colorless off the top deck, we got Guzma for game next turn. We actually have Guzma for game next turn if they don't score a knockout. So we're pretty happy. As our opponent plays another Pokemon Communication. I wonder if they're going to grab Sylveon just to give themselves something beefy, but it doesn't matter. I'm swinging for way too much damage, so I'm not sure what the play is here. Because I can knock out that Sylveon. You were better off leaving that as an Eevee, my friend. Via Seeker for Guzma, he's going to stall out with the Oranguru. He's going to promote the Sudowoodo, take my Oranguru up. But Shin, you got to do what you got to do, right? Or just give me the Tapu Lele, not even force me to do anything other than find a Floatstone. Or a Guzma. I guess it doesn't really matter, does it? Well, we'll take those. Be Revenge for a Bajillion. Take the last 2 prizes. Thank you very much. Claim victory. Having a pretty good day today so far here. Ooh, all sorts of goodies. Okay, well, Let's get one more in. Hopefully we get another good one. I'm getting hungry. It's about dinner time here. It's 5:35. I've been trying to get at this for an hour. There's been a lot of dead material. I got some leftover tacos in the fridge or taco meat in the fridge. That sounds great right now. Ugh. Well, we got Battle Compressor, we got VS Seeker. So we got a couple of things. With the Battle Compressor, at least we have... See, hey, the right Zora, right? Battle Compressor, we can at least get a supporter into the discard pile, which will allow us to draw cards. So we're about to learn what kind of Zoroark deck our opponent is playing. First card will be Execute, second card will be a supporter, third card will be God knows what. See, just by the fact that our opponent has this card in their arsenal tells me that they've been playing for a little bit, or they expended a lot of resources in trading for it. Execute a couple supporters. Okay, that makes sense. I need a drop button for like the Jeopardy theme music when our opponent's taking seemingly a long time. Okay, and hopefully we don't get end into a hand of just garbage, like nothing but Flareons and Vespiquens. Okay, we can work with that. It's not great. But basically every time... Dude, you already played a supporter. Why are you playing down the Tapu Lele? Because our opponent knows exactly what he's playing against. Which means we are now going to be playing the game of... Does my opponent play Team Skull Grunt? And how long can I sit on energy before my opponent punishes me for it? But the other thing is we can play our own N and hopefully get rid of that disruption card out of our opponent's hand for good. So we're going to go after that N. So we can't play either of these guys down right now, and we use the unknown after our draw supporter to maximize value out of it. So we bench another unknown, use this compressor, and right now, boy, we need some stuff. We did not prize a Juniper in this game, or a double colorless. But we prized the teammates again. I don't know how that keeps happening. It is what it is. We got a couple more Pokemon in there. A different draw supporter. And farewell letter time. So it's Pokemon number 5, Pokemon number 6. Okay, another Eevee down. We're going to keep that in hand until we're actually ready to use it. So we have 6 Pokemon in the discard pile. Well, considering where we're at, that's where we're at. Oops, I misspoke about that teammates. I must have just skipped over it. Or was already sitting in hand and I was just looking in the deck. What on earth is going on with our opponent's deck? Zoroark? Some sort of EV. I don't really know what evolution he could be playing. I am confused. But I have a feeling we'll find out here in a couple of turns. Oops, bump the table. My opponent's deck's throwing me for a little bit of a loop because I haven't seen anything in it that just outright screams anything to me. We are able to attack though this turn, so we're gonna do our best to make our opponent do something about it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So I'm gonna end up using teammates for a Flareon and a battle compressor. I think that's the way to do it. So now I have an attacker for next turn. I can power this one up now. So I got 1, 4, 6, 7, 8, 9 Pokemon in there. 110, that's not bad. Let's draw a few more cards though. Cool, wanted a Combi bad. There's nothing else to really draw right now. So we're just going to attack. And for modest damage. So we have 3 energy left in deck, 24 cards left in deck, no draw supporter. We will have an opportunity to use an Instruct next turn, but it's probably going to be for like 1 card, maybe 2. Our opponent's got Knockout all day long, but our opponent does not have another attacker set up in spite of having that enormous hand. And if we top deck a Vespiquen, we're just gonna grab the teammates, and we're gonna go back in and grab a double colorless and a Vespiquen, evolve, and roll from there, just to keep another attacker going. Because that's the problem with this deck. If your opponent catches you in a position where you don't have another attacker ready to go, we're saying basically like you're able to evolve into it, attach your energy, and swing, you can get run over if you miss your attacks. So our opponent now's got a second Zoroark down on the board. I still really don't know what variant they're playing. They're just playing some sort of Zoroark deck. Oh, this is great. Our opponent's going to punish us for playing that Shaman down. The good news about this is that I am going to be able to knock out that Zoroark, which is good. So we're actually going to telegraph that to our opponent, unfortunately. I want to grab a Vespiquen out of the deck before I use that Farewell Letter, to kind of try to maximize the value I get out of Farewell Letter, as much as possible anyway. Time to draw a card. Not the card I wanted, but it's okay. So our opponent has played basically no cards, which means they still have everything. Got 13 Pokemon in the discard pile. Make that 14. Evan, why'd you throw away your special charge? I'm glad you asked, because I was going to have a dead hand next turn, and I don't want to live with a dead hand. So, decision time. Do I play that Parallel City, removing 2 sets of 2 easy prizes from my grasp, while reducing my damage? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 160 minus 20. So I'm still actually hitting for decent damage. But I'm now making my opponent make some decisions they don't want to make. Toss the Eevee. Interesting. Again, I still haven't seen basic energy out of our opponent, so I don't know what on earth they're playing. My hope with this is that our opponent is unable to remove the stadium, and I get another turn out of this Flareon. Any turns I get where I don't get knocked out are wins. Okay, so here comes some pain because now our opponent's going to try to load their bench back up. And I don't feel like they should have a problem doing so with that giant hand. And the good news is next turn we're going to be doing more damage because we don't have the Perilous City pointed the wrong way at us. 1, 2, 4, 7, 7. 1, 2, 4, 8, 9, 10, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. A Choice Band would be cool right now. But we might be able to, if we draw another Pokemon, we can just dump the hand with the Professor Juniper and we should be able to get to our knockout that way. So I've used 3 Battle Compressors, 2 Ultra Balls. So I still have 2 Ultra Balls and a Computer Search potentially to go through. Okay, our opponent will have a knockout this turn, which is unfortunate. And they're just going for it. What are they Ultra Balling for? They gotta be Ultra Balling for another basic Pokemon right now, I would think. Another Tapu Lele, okay. Okay. So if I'm unable to take a knockout next turn, I probably end up playing the Faba to remove that double colors out of play and hopefully kind of pin my opponent where they lie. I don't like that. That doesn't show me what they're putting back in their deck. I want to know. See, our opponent doesn't need to go and do that. That's overextending. Save that for your next turn. Unless you haven't played a supporter yet and you really need to draw more cards, you're already pretty well situated. Hopefully the expanded gods will allow me to punish my opponent for being so darn greedy. He plays in a lone grinder, so he's playing Zoro, Muck, Eggs. Oof, man. Kind of hoping for some stuff. What did I say? 180 turn is my next turn. Sure, it'd be great if I drew stuff that I could use to manipulate this hand, get rid of those Pokemon, and still have a way to use the Faba this turn. That would have been preferred. Opponent played a lot of search cards on that turn, though. So it's 20, 30, 40, 50, 80, 120, 130, 140, 150, 160, 170, 180, 210. Choice Band's nice. I think we'll wait until we get knocked out. Taking the knockout's still the most important aspect of the turn, because now theoretically next turn all we need is an energy and a Guzma, which we have the Guzma because we played it earlier. We can grab it with VS Seeker. We can use it to take out one of those Tapu Leles our opponent has so generously left on their bench for us. Now, that is of course predicated completely upon us finding a double colors energy, which we drew Computer Search. So unless my opponent has some sort of, well, if our opponent just disrupts our hand, we have problems because we're gonna have a huge hand and not a lot we can do with it. See, I like this play in a lot of these Zoroark decks, using Foul Play Zoroark from Next Destinies or Black and White, depending on which ones you have. You either choose one of the defending Pokemon's attack and use it, regardless of cost. And copy things, just Quaking Punch, Bee Revenge, Psychic, Energy Drive. I don't know what our opponent's up to. How many Pokemon they got in the discard pile? They have a few. Ooh! Okay, that explains the Eevee. They were using the electric effect Jolteon to turn all their stage 1s into lightning type Pokemon. By doing so, they reduce attack costs from Thunder. Oh, it lets them use Electro Power. Okay. That's kind of cute. I like that. It's unnecessary in this particular matchup. See, now this is where the problems arise. We're going to get N down to 2. And if those 2 cards aren't Guzma and Double Colorless Energy, we're going to have some problems. Well, we got Guzma out of it. Hopefully we can top deck the Double Colorless. That is not top decking a Double Colorless. So let's put 2 of them back. I don't like this. Our opponent's got too many energy in play. We're going to do the old end of 1. All right. Yep. I should have Guzman out the Alolan Muck. I don't know what I was thinking there. Okay, well, that being said, I do feel like this deck has some room for improvement in terms of the list. Oops, I clicked on the wrong thing. One thing I do think the deck could use is some sort of fighting type tech. Possible inclusions off the top of my head or our Watch and Learn Sudowoodo. You would also have to include what is it called? Counter Energy into the deck in order to use it, but I feel like there's a place for it, especially because you have teammates and the computer search and the special charge that you can kind of constantly go through things, and you don't have to be super duper concerned with throwing it out. That being said, I like this list. I think there's a great deal of potential in this deck. Like I said, I almost want another Float Stone. I think we can cut back on a Rangaroo. Just a couple little tweaks like that, and I think this deck can be really, really powerful and prominent. I know the one question is, well, what are you going to do against Item Lock? The problem with Item Lock is the Item Lock Pokemon is Seismitoad. It's weak to grass. We don't have to try super duper hard. We can just go in with Vespiquen, get our Bee Revenges. If we're only hitting for, we got 5 Pokemon this crop, we're still swinging for 140 and we're still 2-shotting the Seismitoad. So we're pretty happy about that because they got to 3-shot us and we can 2-shot them. So we don't really mind that in that particular matchup, and that we can still use Professor Juniper to throw away a massive amount of Pokemon. So, think that's gonna call it for now. Like I said before, it is about dinner time. I'm kind of hungry. I got to feed the beast, so to speak. We're gonna come back, maybe even later today. I'll probably do another little something on a Zoroark variant because I haven't touched on any of those for Expand yet. So until then, take it easy. Orange Dragon Gaming signing off. Who knows what my hotkeys are? I'm just kidding.